detection from enemy sensors. The rover is active, but wait. This had corrupted its power cell. Hold on. I will reconfigure the rover to draw power.
Transferring, still holding.
So far, so good. Keep going. That rover's contents will be a huge boost to our cause. You have almost reached the extraction point. Keep fighting. The rover is damaged. The Corpus would rather destroy it than let us escape with its cargo.
Alright, I just realized you've been able to hear all of that, but not me. So that's fine. Welcome back to another thrilling installment of Warframe Wednesdays. I am your intrepid traveler, Fraggoth, and today we're doing some Warframe. That seems obvious. I promise you, it is far more subtle and deep than that. That's a lie. It's not. What actually do we have for the rest of these? And can I get them done in the next 60 seconds? 40 seconds? No, I can't. Okay, so we're not going to worry about it. Okay, we're not going to worry about it. I have a bunch of stuff I started building. A bunch of them are Warframes, so they're not going to be done, but there are a couple weapons and minerals that are built, like the Deimos. Wow, I'm actually out of weapon slots. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have some spares that I can get rid of. Give me a sec. Like this. Okay, so I've got... That might be needed for something I need to craft. Neither of those are, and I can surely sell some Dex Viruses, because I don't want to blow plat right now. Not in the mood. I'll sell all but one Dex Virus and sell one of the Vectus Primes, and that'll get me fine for a while. Equipment inventory. And I want to go weapons. So we've got the weapons list. Don't care about the sale price. Care about what is this owned?
Operator, did
I
you
don't
hear
know
that?
what this
It
owned
said
is. It is listed by name.
Cosmic background radiation is a
Never have.
riot.
However many of these that you can have. I wish to sell this. You are gone. Be gone from my sight. Oh, that's why, because it's including that stuff. Okay. I guess I'll go to sell price and then go back to weapons and figure it out from there for dupes. Let us see. I can sell some Dexibarhises. 2, 3. I'll keep 1 spare because why not? I have a dupe embolist for some reason. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. This is a quick eyeballing. Because there might be a good reason for me to have a spare embolist, and I just don't know what it is right now. Dextacras, yeah. Surely check most of them. Same with these. Alright. That's probably fine. I don't know why I have an extra Fang Prime. I don't remember building it. Me going through this is like an archaeological excavation, by the way, because I don't look at this menu ever, under any circuit. Like, I never look at this menu. So, as you can see, I have some accumulated stuff. So I just freed up on the order of like 13 weapon slots, so that should be fine. Ooh. I don't know how many potatoes I have. Oh, sugar. Blue potatoes specifically. I'm going to need to find out because I don't think I have any spare ready to build. Oh yeah, and I finally have my helmet segment. I can actually get with the times. Comma space old man. That's me. I've got to do some mineral farming, which I'm looking forward to, like a hole in my head, or stepping on a Lego brick. As well as some Samaris resource acquisition. Helmet segment. We got it. So let me equip that rhino I wanted to get rid of, just in case. Goodbye, rhino. It's not like I want to poke you or anything, Baka. Switch to that so I'm not constantly interrupted by it. Feeding.
Operator, my foundry system has completed a build.
I don't think it'll let me subsume, but I'm gonna click it anyway. Awesome, within my body, granting me a trace of its power. A power I can pass on to others. Okay, so do it. Feeding, question mark? Just feed me. Will you feed me? I had a wiki page open for this, but it's gone already, which did not take long. Who nurtures you in your times of rest? Who restores your battle-torn frame, day after day after day? Whose milk, you, enriches your kindred flesh with the endless strength and vigor? It can only be me. Do I have to? Oh, hey, let me do it. Cool. I hope I can change that name whenever, because I'm gonna forget. So feeding. I know it's done with spare resources. So that's 25. That's not bad if that scales. Needs to be fed resources. It will transform these into secretions. Your helmet prefers a varied diet. Check each resource to find out how appetizing the helmet currently finds it. No arrow means it feels neutral. Upwards arrow means it craves the resource and can generate up to double the secretions from it. A downwards arrow means it is tired. It will produce very few. Mindful of the order in which you feed resources, feeding the helmet a resource it finds very appealing, denoted by the upwards arrow, will improve its appetite for a less appealing resource in the same category. Infusing an ability into your Warframe will replace one of its original abilities. You can only replace one original ability in each configuration slot. That's fine. Your helmet can infuse a different ability on each of a Warframe's configuration slots. Helmet can subsume a Warframe. This empowers it to infuse one of that Warframe's abilities into other Warframes. Subsumed, yes, that's what I'm looking for. Use augments for abilities you infuse your Warframes, however, caution is advised. Some augments require interactions with other abilities or passives, and if these are not present, their benefits will not apply. Change your mind about an ability infusion. The helmet can always remove it. Exercise caution when replacing Warframe abilities by means of the helmet. Some Warframes have abilities that, if removed, will lead to a loss of overall efficiency. Some abilities work differently when infused. Be sure to read their descriptions. Here, cure. Can we sort by? Evidently not. We find a resource that it doesn't want. Oh wow. It needs that much asteroid per feeding? Are you insane? Bugger off. Seriously. That's madness. So I guess it's just like not gonna... Does it like not care what I feed it to start, or... I heard nothing. Did you hear anything? I didn't hear anything. I don't know. What do I have a ton of that I don't want to give it? 8 of those? Really? Come on! He's a hungry boy, but clearly... Alright, well I guess I'll feed him things until he doesn't want them anymore? Question mark. How do I not have... Oh, because it's titanium. I thought I was looking at something else. We're good. Here, have some alloy plate. Oh, okay, so it just wants you to round robin a lot. Okay. I'm not getting 200 of those. Get out. Okay, it's fed. I don't know what I do with it now. So, oh, I haven't actually fed them yet. Alright, maybe against my better judgment, I'll do Rhino, but actually, I meant to go through the ability list because I have a huge brain. Giant pulsating noggin. Don't stand near it. It'll own you. Do not eat. Okay, airburst, no. Banish, maybe, but I don't have a spare limbo. Blood altar I can see being useful on a number of frames that actually care about their health. Actually, Necros. I could see Necros using blood altar very handily. With the, what's that, desecration? Augment. The one that does the thing, uses health instead of energy. I could definitely see that being viable there. Breach Surge I really want, but my Wisp isn't done yet. Because Breach Surge is kind of crazy. I do wonder if there's another Wisp on the team if I can use Breach Surge to teleport with other characters. That'd be pretty cool if dubious practicality, but the actual ability is pretty nice. Think Radial Blind, but awesome. Because it makes little wispy things, wispy damaging, like from Pax Seeker projectiles, and it kills them pretty good. It's quite strong. Decoy is what it is. Defy is... Which one is Defy? Defy is... Oh, Defy is the whack them while absorbing damage, okay. Pocket Sand, Dispensary would be nice, but I don't have a Protea up and running. A spare Protea, I should say. Dispensary would be really good for Mesa. It'd be obscene for Mesa. This I think is a... Yeah, this is a helmet ability, so I can't do that. Eclipse would be nice. I know it gets hit with the Nerf Bat if you use it, if you subsume it. I was originally thinking about doing Elemental Ward on my Baruch, but unfortunately, my Baruch builds make no use of duration, which this relies on pretty heavily, so no. What do I want to put on my Baruch? No. I mean, Firewalker wouldn't be bad for Baruch, it wouldn't be bad. Neither would Roar, neither would, thing. Oh boy, what is this? I have like a hassle of spam chat messages I just got. These look legit. How do I block those? I'm not clicking on those. That's a Russian friggin'... I'm not going to a Russian website, you dink. Come on. Some people think I was born yesterday. Golly. Larva's another good one for Baruch. What's the one? Hysteria. Not Hysteria, the other one. Warcry. Warcry is great for Baruch. Marked for Death used to be absurdly broken. It's not anymore, but don't need mind control. I could see some viability to Molt on a Baruk, but not much. Is that a speed multiplier to run, to attack speed, or just run speed? I think it's just movement speed. Nourish. Ooh, that's duration based, so I can't. My Baruk builds tend not to go with duration. Nullstar. I could do Nullstar. I have to recast it with some frequency, and if it stacks with... Ooh. Moment, my friends, a moment. A moment, my friends. Let me check some science here and see if Nullstar actually stacks. Warframe subsume. Nullstar, and what is the daggers called? Desolate Hands? Desolate Hands. Yes. Okay, it is Desolate Hands. Ah, here we go. I could give myself a really disgusting amount of damage resistance if I ignore range. Because I know a lot of the damage boosting abilities will not stack with others. However, I'm skimming through the damage resistance page on the wiki right now, for anybody who's wondering. That's why nothing's happening right now. Oh my god, somebody's figured out the damage resistance calculations for individual enemies like the Saxum, the Deimos Saxum, which are those burly two-legged things that look like a reject from Muv-Love. What are the baddies called there? The Beta. Wow, that's pretty complicated. I'm going to ignore that for now because I don't want my brain to itch. Ah, here we go. Someone's asking the question. A question that's relevant. Not seeing any indication of how sources of DR interact. For example, Trinity's Link redirects damage and Blessing, mitigates damage, does it mitigate, then redirect weakening the effect of Link, or does it work the other way? What of two sources of mitigation, such as if I put Nullstar on Elmber and had that enter Immolation active? It's just hard cap, and if so, then what? Because I was under the impression that certain kinds of damage resist do stack with each other, but I can't remember for the life of me where I read that or what that was from. So doing Nullstar might not be a bad idea for my Baruk, because if you can have like two sources of 90% or whatever it comes to, Reeve might not be a bad idea because you can just regenerate. Radial Blind, whoop-de-doo. If I was gonna, I would do, because Wisps is just a better Radial Blind, isn't it? That's 25 meters versus Wisp's Breach Surge, which is, okay, a smaller radius, admittedly. And probably a lower duration, but that damage multiplier, though, and status chance are kind of a big one. Shooting gallery wouldn't be too terrible, but I need to build a spare mesa, and that's going to take a while because I haven't taken the time to grind it up. I could also see maybe doing Spectro Rage, but again, for Baruch, I'm going to be moving around a lot. I wish to God that the one Titania granted was the status buffing ability. That would have been so much better. Because none of those are like huge big deal breakers for damage boosting, but they're phenomenal for survivability. A double tap of Thermal Sunder is also a good one, if I'm going for range and strength. And I suppose I could do Warcry. Warcry's not bad. I'm also trying to think ahead in terms of abilities that are going to be broadly useful on just about anyone. And right now, probably Roar is, you can put that on, it's easy to put that on somebody. Warcry is slightly less easy, but not by much. Resonator, unfortunately, is by far Octavia's least useful ability. It's a damn shame, but them's the breaks. I think Pillage gets converted so that it uses energy. Yeah, it's like 50 energy to get a big shield absorbing burst, which could have value, but you lack a lot of what makes that useful, so I guess I'll try some Soon Warframe, right? Starts off at 50%. Subsume the Warframe. Because Roar is easy. Confirm, thank you, because I have spare rhinos. That better not have taken the damn gun. I don't think it does, it's just the frame. I don't actually remember. Yeah, those are some primes I could probably get rid of. Oh, I do have a spare ember though. Sick. Why do I have a spare ember? That's a really good question. I do not remember doing this thing, but I have done it. Of the frames I have readily available. And Necros... Does Necros give Terrify or Soul Punch? I think he gives... You know, I honestly don't know. Oh, so it takes a while for that to happen. That's fine. I didn't need the ability immediately. I'm just trying to think ahead. Soul... Must be Terrify. Yeah, it's Terrify. That's too bad. Terrify, though, I will say, is, I think, somewhat underrated. Although it does an armor reduction now. There was a point in time where it did damage multiplication. It's still his worst ability by a fair margin. But it is okay CC, I guess, question mark. Oh, I should probably feed the beast. I'm not gonna feed it 200. It's not happening. Go through my list, see if there's anything easier to feed it. 10,000. No. That's probably the most efficient right now. Not feed it 50. I'd rather not feed it 1,000. Gotta do So, making headway on that, I just have to keep an eye on it. Rebuild shield seems very dubious. Third metamorphosis will give me perspicacity. Automatically succeeded hack attempt. I could definitely, I guess, if you really wanted to cheat. Oh, and it's only 25%. 25 energy, rather. Yeah, I could set up a dedicated spy frame where you just mash through it. I could do that. It wouldn't hurt. Okay, so let's go back to my armory here and equip things that I haven't leveled up, like my Deimos and whatever the weapon is called. I don't even know. I will do the Keratinos, which does what? The attack at max combo to keep extended range and slight radius. Is that for everything or just heavy attacks? Because I don't. Wait, 244 times 7. What the fuck? Does it do like a combo? That's kind of cool. Normally I don't go for heavy attack builds, but here we are. My difficulty is actually affording. Okay, I've got 5. That's going to be used up very quickly, but we're going to do it. I potato things. I don't wait, because there's always sources of further potatoes. Sometimes, though, I get stuck where I have, like, no potatoes. So kid gun ribbons, I don't care. Great. I think I have a spare melee ribbon, don't I? Yeah, I do. I have 3. Jeez. 5 fish without missing a throw while alone. That sounds vile. 12 enemies that are on a dropship in one day. What? 6 unalerted tusk ballistas with a headshot without raising any alarms. I swear that's the last one I did. Dropship kills are annoying but doable. Probably the least obnoxious of the lot. Man, I remember back in the day when you sorted by drain, it would put stances and auras just right at the end of the list, so you always knew these were things that granted you mod juice, and they don't do that anymore. It's really annoying. It saddens me. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't even remember what 4 Riders does. It's 5 hits, it's forward, it's block forward, it's block. I should probably look up what the combo attacks actually do. It's a lot fewer. Vermilion Storm, I seem to recall, is okay too. That's 6 hits, wow. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on that page real quick. It was posted on October 30th. Let's open up yet another. Let me go to... Come on, Claw Stances. Claw Stance. Okay, let's see a combo list and effects, if these are still accurate, which who knows anymore. 6 instances of 50. Wow. One second, we get out a calculator. That's probably... Vermilion Storm is probably the best of the lot. Jeez Louise. There's a list of other stances here. Where are you? Ah, here we go. New stance for Warframe when, by the way? Yo, Kazong, what up? I'm sorry. did not see you until right now. I apologize. I'm just like, why did I open a notepad? I want a calculator. Damn. I'm just perusing my the stances because I never look at this stuff anymore. I just like slap in what I feel like, and now I'm actually doing math, which is probably a bad plan. Wow, that's pretty good. I may have to just go with that because that's okay. Stances. Let me check. Where's the heavy attack? Heavy attack is 2 instances of 500% damage each. Jeez Louise. Okay. Here we go. 4 riders. What does 4 riders offer? 300, 200, don't leave. There we go. 300, 200, 200, 200, 400. What do we have for? Heavies are the same. Wow, that's pretty good too. Somebody's posting information from before these combos all got changed. I think I'm gonna have to go with Vermilion Storm. It's just too good. Just based on my quick eyeballing, like it's a 6-hit combo that goes for the default. That goes 300% impact, 300% whatever that is lifting. A double hit of 1x damage and 3x damage, 2 sets. Is that 4 hits? Jesus. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then doing the forward combo, you've got like a triple spin in there somewhere. That's dumb. This stance is busted. I'm gonna check now for completionist second Malicious Raptor, which is much shorter, but I think it has a few more multi-hits. Oh no, it just has status out the yin-yang, but a lot of it is impact status, and who cares? Sorry, impact status fans, it's just not good. Even though somebody from March is saying that it's the best stance at the moment, and I find that hard to believe. Whatever. We'll try Vermilion, and then we'll try Malicious Raptor. And then the other. What do I want to do here? I want to do heavy attacks. So, heavy. Anything that beefs up my heavy attacks, because this thing has weird buffs that go to heavy attacks for some reason. Because that's how it works. That's why. Its crit exists, but I would not probably push it that direction. So I'm going to hold off there for a sec. Probably go with Amalgam Organ Shatter, because that speeds up my wind-up time even more, which is great. Don't care about movement speed, don't care about that. That's impact, not heavy attack. Because it's called heavy trauma. Duh. What does Carnus Mandible do? Oh, extra slash damage and status chance. That's probably good. Why don't I have one of those maxed out yet? I'm telling you though, no, that's not them. Here we go, mods. Fuse, each Nissan, she, whatever 5 is in Japanese. Physical status elements, I put in quotes, air quotes that you can't see, would be a lot better if it, if you could put one of these mods on a weapon that was like all elemental or didn't have slash damage, and it would deal more slash damage, and it would add the element to its list. I think that would be a lot better. Heavy. What's the one I'm forgetting? There's a basic mod for heavy attacks that I'm forgetting. What is it? Not Dispatch Overdrive. There's something. My brain isn't letting me access that information. Oh, it's combos. I'm looking for combos. Hello. I'm not thinking heavy attacks. I'm thinking the wrong thing. Quickening's never bad. quickening is so good now. It's just like, oh yeah, let's have additional attack speed and combo count chance. It's not dependent on channeling, because channeling's a thing of the past, thank goodness. 10% evasion and immunity to status effects for 2 seconds. That's actually not bad. I like that. I don't need body count because I've got other things that can do that. Like Gladiator Rush. Combo efficiency, eh. Percent chance to increase melee combo counter when slashed status deals damage. Well, I've got a lot of slash, don't I? So we'll do that. I think this combo actually has native lifting, so that enduring strike might not be a bad idea, but I don't even remember the name of that polarity anymore. Practically nothing uses it. No, there is, you can make use out of true punishment. There are builds that work with that, but I don't. Corrupt Charge is better, because you just get a bunch of initial combo to start. You don't have to worry about it. What is Guardian Derision? Oh, Guardian Derision is the blocking adds combo. Right. Drifting Contact, though, is the combo sustainability mod of choice, I would say. And now I just need to put in actual mods that do things, because I have forgotten to do that. Like Prime Fever Strike. This thing has no polarities on it, does it? No. Other than on the Vermilion Storm, so this thing is kinda dodgy. We'll keep quickening. Keep drifting contact. I think I'll get rid of Carnus Mandible. Because I don't have other Carnus mods, I don't think. So, wow, I'm getting some lag. What's going on? That's bad. Be my Lotus. But not a woman, just my guide. Well, okay. I will be your guide. We're all learning it together. Some people have learned it earlier than me, though, so I'm just picking up on their notes. This is why the wiki is so important, and this is why they need to have like an in-game resource that talks about any of this stuff at all. I'm so frustrated all the time that it's not there. Okay, we're gonna keep that. I'll keep that. I may get rid of Drifting Contact. Drifting Contact's pretty good, though. Because I just don't have the room. And I do need to get Prime Pressure Point on here somewhere. So we'll get rid of Relentless Combination. That which gives me 16 to work with. And I really like Primed Reach, but there's no way to fit that on. And I can't... Actually... I can if I get rid of both of these, which I guess I could do. And I'll still be getting hits. Oh man, like I've taken a couple breaks while playing Warframe, and then like they'll add a big contact big block of content, and I'm just like, I'm totally lost. Or better yet, I'll be playing consistently. I haven't taken an extended break from the game in a while, but the amount of time I spend in the game has been less lately. But even when like I was playing the game regularly, it's just I'm learning new things all the time, or having my preconceived notions dashed to pieces constantly in Warframe. Actually, the attack speed on this is pretty good, even at 0.917, if I just leave quickening. Oh, I don't need Prime Fury at all. We'll just leave quickening on there. I do love range so much, though. I'm going to leave it as is for now. I may consider putting a Forma in there. But I love the game. Like, the game's great. Even when it's frustrating, definitely equip that. Oh, it It's toxin natively? Ew. I don't know about that. What can I do with heat? I can probably make it into radiation if worst comes to worst. Does it have any... No, it's not real. Well, crit damage, it's okay. 2.3 isn't bad, but 5% crit chance is not. Radial attack must be exploding projectiles. That's cool. 3.30 meter range is not terrible at all. Let me, real quick. Fulmination, is it? What does that bump up to? 4? I can pass. Alright, the usual suspects. We've got our barrel infusion. We've got our lethal torrent. These are just... Multi-shot is too good. Until the day that they decide they're going to make multi-shot consume additional ammo. Multi-shot is like the stat. You never don't want it. That I can think of. There are some weapons that have odd interactions with multi-shot, like the Stug, which has the piling up of goo mechanic, which I guess I could show off at some point. And with additional multi-shot, that gets kind of thrown off, but not in a way that's bad, I guess. I have 21. I don't want punch through, because if these explode, punch through means the projectile will go through an enemy and not explode until it hits something that it can't go through. So sometimes you waste projectiles, so I'm not going to go with that. I just realized I pointed at the screen to talk about that. So Seeker does punch through, and so let's draw a quick diagram. Imagine, if you will, that this circle I'm drawing with my mouse up here is me, and that's an enemy. And so me here, enemy there, I shoot the gun, and so the enemy is at the U here. The projectile, instead of hitting the enemy and exploding, will hit the enemy, go through, and explode when it hits the wall, which is at the Z. So, punch through on weapons that explode equals usually not great. You can usually mitigate that by jumping up into the air and firing at the floor, but sometimes you'll run into floors that are thin enough for punch through to go through. And you can have some limited success when you've got punch through enough to get through one enemy and explode in a crowd. But that's so hard to predict, and a lot of the time, the projectile will just vanish, or seem to vanish because it goes off into the distance or whatever. So it's kind of like, it seems like punch through would be great on everything, but on exploding weapons it isn't. On nearly everything else, if it's not a weapon that explodes, go for it. So good, because you're able to do damage to enemies in a line. And you don't have to expend extra ammo shooting an enemy and then shooting the enemy behind him after he falls, then so on and so forth. Instead, you just unload on a crowd and you hit all of them. So pretty good, if you can fit it in. Pistols don't have a combi stat, what are they called? Nightmare mods? Like this, where it's got two stats that are being buffed. Almir De Paula says, hey, I bought Saren yesterday, but it's still figuring out the game. Lol. Saren's kind of weird. I say weird. Saren takes some time to get the pattern down too. I can do some rounds of Saren. Saren's pretty easy to work with. Let me just finish throwing random mods on this thing, and I'll do that. Yes, Harness Strike, yes, Barrel, yes. I don't want it doing gas. I want it to do... I could do Radiation and Toxin, I guess. Yeah, that's probably fine. Right? I have 21 to work with. Let's see if I can slam. Auger Pact. Nah, I don't need Auger Pact. Let's do Radiation into... I can have Viral, so I can put in Deep Freeze and have Viral. There we go. No, I can't. I don't have enough juice. Do I have a spare 10 cost one of those? I don't. I'll go for status then. Fine. Saren's good. There are some considerations related to enemies late game and you not being able to hurt them enough, but that will change. I'll try and give a decent breakdown of Saren. Looking for, here we go, Frostbite. Frostbite, and I want the Jolt, and I want, what's the other one? The Heat one. Oh, I can just go with Augur Pact. That'll beef up my damage all around. Yeah, we'll go with that. So that'll be fine for now. Saren. We'll go with Saren Prime because I have it. Practical difference-wise, you're not going to see much. But Saren can do a lot. There are some enemies that are not going to care about powers that you use, and that's where problems kind of start for Saren. Like Corpus Nullifiers. What are the ones in the Arbitration Drones, and then it's mostly just Corpus enemies, really. And then anytime you have your energy drained, you're going to be kind of like, oh no, what do I do? Kazan says, the wife I use her in survival slot. She is good for survival because you have constant amounts of enemies. What am I looking for? I'm looking for arcane mages. Just as a sense in general. So here I've got a range and strength build. Does not have much duration, which is not ideal, but with range, you're able to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get into a solo game. I'm gonna find like a, yeah, I'll do an arbitration. Why not? So I should probably be using an all-rounder build. Let me get an all-rounder build that doesn't really do anything particularly broken. That'll make this a little bit easier to do, or show off. Yeah, here we go. Bunch of armor and energy. We should be fine with that. What is the... Oh, I don't want that equipment. Sorry, I have to change my syndicate. Appearance, regalia, sigil, back sigil. Change that to Suda, I think. That's what I was building. Let me just double check. I'll do a solo arbitration just to show off kind of a general, and I'll probably wind up failing it because I'll be doing like examples instead of actually playing. That's okay. There is no losing in Warframe, only degrees of victory. Kind of like a Dynasty Warriors title in that sense. This is the wrong area, isn't it? Here we go. Sanctuary Onslaught. That's what I'm talking about, not arbitration. Arcanes, Oy. So I accumulated a bunch of arcanes when I was going through the old Law of Retribution and Jordis Verdict. They weren't called raids, trials, but they were raids by any other name. Where you needed 8 people, or you could have up to 8 people doing them at once. They've since removed those from the game, much to my dismay. And continuing consternation and sadness, because it still has PvP that nobody plays. They were saying, oh, it's too much work and upkeep. But what they did not super long ago was they had an event called the Scarlet Spear event, which one of the rewards, or as rewards, was you could get lots and lots and lots. You could get all the arcanes. There were a couple that were added like during that event. Wow, that's really cool. That's, wow, I like that. They added the arcanes for purchase with in-game resources from that event, so it was very easy to get all of them if you spent the time to grind them up, which I did. What is going on with my music? Okay. Okay, or it can just do that. That's really disconcerting. So Saren, right? We were talking about Saren. Other than those events, you can get them all from Eidolons if you choose to do that to yourself. I don't. So Saren, she's got a number of different tools. She's got Molts, which puts a little clone thing up there, which will distract enemies. They will shoot at it. You also get to move fast after that happens. You can, if you maximize power strength, can move quite quickly indeed after doing that. This thing will also explode and deal damage if you've got enough range. Her one puts spores on enemies. If you shoot the spores or kill the enemy that the spores are on, they will spread to all the nearby enemies. Interactions. Hit 4. Any spored enemies have their spores detonate immediately, as well as a big radial thing happens. The net effect of which is you can kill entire rooms very, very quickly. I'm going to... Oh yeah, and then she's got her... I'm going to revive my cat. She's got her... no, don't decay. So what happens is, if your spores are no longer able to affect any enemies in the area... So that gauge on the right is now decaying again. This is so much easier if I have maximized range, which I don't on this build, but that's okay. The damage will keep ramping up the more enemies are affected. And enemies will die quicker and quicker and quicker. The more of them are able to be hit by it. It constantly deals, what is that, corrosive damage? Or is it viral? It's corrosive or viral damage. One of the two. That's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. If you have, what I recommend is going for a very high range build, and that way you're almost always getting enemies affected by her spores. Her 3 gives you just adds like toxin damage to your weapons, which is great. And lasts for a reasonable amount of time. So that just spread, you see all the little damage ticks going up and up and up. They're increasing. If I shoot either the spores, I'm just gonna kill him because I can't aim. That spreads to enemies in the area. Rinse, wash, repeat, basically. They're pretty... She's pretty straightforward, but she does require getting into a certain pattern of play. What I will do is either deliberately flub this or go a little further. Oh, that's right, I don't have energy because it's arbitration, and I don't have energy. That's interesting. That's affected. So I'm just going to try and get my combo way up. So I can get this huge attack area at max melee combo, which I should be able to do with this. But learning the game is like 90% of what I ever do. Anytime I'm playing is learning how wrong I am about everything I thought I knew. That's only a 4x combo. I need much higher than that. We're getting there. I want to get up to that 12x combo count. Just so I can see what this thing is capable of. Which is supposed to boost my melee heavy attack range by a lot. Almost there. There we go. Now. supposed to have really big attack range or something. I'm not seeing it. Not seeing massive melee attack range, so I don't know what's up with that. So Saren, right. Eat that. See, there once was a time, a long time ago, when you could cast your one on your molt, and
Enter the conduit now.
things were a little scary, because you never needed enemies, basically. Yeah, no, and it'll be a while. Your main source of power isn't going to be your weapons or your frames. Typically, it's going to be what mods you have equipped
They
on
are
them.
immortal. They can
And that
have
takes
taste
time to
of
get.
guilt. You, however, do
You
not
would be
enjoy
surprised,
the
though,
protections of
at how many people are willing to just
To
give
you,
that stuff away,
failure has real life consequences.
if they've got spares. But a lot of them drop from practically anywhere.
It's true. But
Let's
fortune
see.
favors the bold, and there ain't
Here, I will
none so bold as people with
deliberately
nothing
flub
to
this
lose.
one. Actually, no, we'll get to zone 4 and then flub it. Oh, that's right, they can't attack that. So infested because they're all on the ground and all melee for the most part. If you plant your little molt decoy in the air, they'll just basically ignore it and go for you. Except for ranged ones like those Mutilist Ospreys. Before, we'll do a bunch of damage ticks over a short period of time. But its main purpose is to detonate, or one, on enemies within range. I think that should have... No, they all died. I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if it popped the spores. It's supposed to pop the spores, but I couldn't see it. Because they all died too fast. Okay, that definitely didn't spread. That should be spread to all of them. What I'll do is I'll show off... a range and damage build, which will be pretty silly. The disadvantage of a range and damage build, or at least the one I have, is that I cannot, if I lose or I run out of enemies that have spores on them, it will not straight up, it'll decrease almost immediately. You'll lose any infected damage boost. That 350, 370, 380, 390, 400 number that keeps going up. That's basically it's indicating how much damage your spores are dealing, and it continues to ramp up their damage, and that can get very high. I will let this end, and I will whip out that particular build because it's kind of gross. You can see what that can do.
Hurry, Hunter. The conduit is closing
Okay,
fast.
so that was from the explosion that knocked me back. Is that like a burst fire? It's doing a lot of hits. It's probably just from the multi-shot. That's not bad. I like the Deimos. I like anything that explodes in this game.
The
Let's see.
sanctuary will go on
Let's see.
without
Let's see.
you.
Let's see. Yeah. Go back. Get out. I don't know what's going on with my music player right now. It's like getting all spastic. I don't know if it's... Oh, I know what the problem is. I'm not smart. That's what the problem is. Give me a sec. Oi. Where are you? There you are. Music. So we're going to take that from the top. Here we go. Oh, I know. Yeah. Can somebody explain to me why Street Fighter 3, the Third Strike's soundtrack is so good? Like, how did this soundtrack even happen? Sensors eat me alive for all I care. Okay, so... I don't even mention the all-rounder build in terms of what I have equipped on it, because I don't even know. Range and strength, though, we're going to talk about for a sec. Right now... Alright, this could probably use another forma, just eyeballing it. For auras, I have corrosive projection. Ideally, I'd probably have steel charge on, or maybe even power donation. Growing power, rather, not power donation. Power donation's fine because of the extra bump it gives you in terms of mod capacity, but for purposes of this build, it would not be great. So what I have here is maximized range, which caps out at 280%, and as much damage as I can put on there. Strictly speaking, I could get higher in terms of damage. That would require at least one more forma, probably a V polarity here, which would get me able to do what powers... No, hello, click in the box, strength, which would allow me to equip, at the very least, Augur Secrets, right about there. If I had a spare forma, which I don't really right now, I could do it immediately. But practical upshot is you have pretty high strength, over 200% strength, and capped out range. What this does is it makes your spores have a range of 168 meters, which is bigger than most tiles. As you can guess, that's kind of good for purposes of spreading your spores and keeping them up. Now, the disadvantage is your decay rate is super high. Wow, like, they go down. But you'll get the numbers way up there, the damage multiplier way up there, but they will, like, if you don't have enemies being affected by spores anymore, they're gone. They just vanish. It also means that because I have no duration at all, 13% duration, I'm looking at a 5-second duration on Molt, so it's basically not usable except as an emergency. Please stop shooting at me for 3 seconds. And Toxic Lash, which is the bigger crime there, because Toxic Lash actually can augment your damage substantially with the extra poison it does, or toxin damage it does. Your Miasma, though, is going to do quite a bit of damage quite quickly. And what you want to do is you want to get your spore counter up very high, and then hit your 4. And then you do colossal damage to everything in a 56 meter radius. Absolutely ginormous amounts of pain. The problem is 90% of the game that's completely irrelevant. You're never going to need to do that ever. Kind of a con, as in a kind of a negative there. Most of the game does not care. Your 1 is going to be killing everything off just perfectly fine. I'm going to real quick hop into another Sanctuary Onslaught to show a slight difference in procedure. Let me back out of this and show you. So to increase the range, you want some specific mods. I just realized I didn't give the mod breakdown that I really should have given. I just kind of showed it and was like expecting you to know what I was talking about, which is stupid. It doesn't help anyone, and I apologize. I will endeavor not to make the same mistake again. So the mods that increase your range are going to be Stretch, Augur Reach when you can get it. Stretch is pretty basic. You'll find it wherever that drops. I don't actually know where that drops. I can look it up. Stretch you'll want, because that'll boost your range by 45%. Augur Reach is by 30. It's less, but it's there, and it's cheap to equip. It's only 7 mod. What is it called? Mod capacity. 7 mod capacity. So it's pretty easy to equip if in a pinch if you need to. Stretch is normally 9. But its reading is 5 because I have a polarity on there, so it's half. And Overextended is your real big one. That provides a plus 90% range boost, which is huge. but it reduces your ability strength by 60. So to mitigate that strength drop, so my strength right now with my current mod loadout, if this didn't reduce it by 60, would be at like 290 something, 298. So to mitigate that drop in strength, I have Transient Fortitude and Blind Rage. Oh, and the other range boosting mod is Cunning Drift, which you get by doing certain specific Lua challenges. I forget if that's the valves. Yeah, and with range, you'll never get it as high as you can get with some of the other stats. Like, you can get duration up to 306% if you have every mod that boosts duration equipped, and nothing that reduces it. Min-maxing like that is usually not that great an idea. Like, having maximized range like this, basically unnecessary. I don't need to have done this, and it may actually be hurting me in some ways. But I like it for the ease of use of spores. I do take a hit in strength by doing it, though. Because I could fit on another power strength mod or duration or something. Cunning Drift, that might be from the... It might be showing the correct puzzle in the background that grants it, which is the one where you have to dance in front of a glowing eye that shoots things, and you need it to shoot like some tree roots inside of columns. It makes sense if you see it. It's kind of obnoxious, but you have to get to the Lua tiles in order to do it. I forget what's required to do that. Probably from Earth, I guess. I don't actually want corrosive projection on there. I'm going to put on... I'll put on Energy Siphon. Energy Siphon's fine. It's innocuous. It gives you a little extra energy. Cunning Drift also gives you some extra slide distance. So when you slide on the ground, you'll go a bit further and a bit faster. But mostly I have it for just a little extra ability range. Strictly speaking, this isn't doing me any good. Augur Reach, I think, is gotten from something on the plains, but I don't remember what. It might just be bounties on the plains of Eidolon will drop Augur Reach. And for that, it's worthwhile, because there's a series of Augur mods. Let me pull them up. Augur. Or not. Oh, because I'm in Horus. Augur. Augur mods, and these are set mods. Set mods are unique, or special, I should say, in that they've got an additional value attached to them, and I can't roll down on it too much. So if you see here, you see the bars. So let me remove that so it only has one. Yeah, there we go. So this says Augur Secrets provides plus 24% ability strength, but also there's this block here, block there, block there. There's 6 total blocks. And that means it'll give you 40% of the energy you spent on abilities is, converted to shields. So you can get over shields that way just by casting abilities. That's not a big one. There are other set mods that actually have a worthwhile set bonus. This isn't one of them. But the mods themselves are good. Because they provide, plus 30% ability range or plus 24% ability strength. And they're cheap. They're economical. They're not 9. They don't cost 9 points to equip. They don't cost 11 points to equip. They only cost 7. So they're pretty manageable. Kazong says, it's the bounties, yes, need to finish the set. Yeah, I don't think I have all of them. And some of them are on, like, weapons and stuff. So it's just something to keep in mind, but don't worry about too much. There's a lot of layers here. So it's all about priorities. Augur Message is for ability duration, but I have Augur Reach on. So where was I in narrative? So right, overextended. So my initial goal for making the build was maximize strength. So to do that, I have to put on overextended. But that's going to reduce my strength by a lot, like so. So if I didn't have these strength mods equipped, my strength would be at 40%. That's bad. We don't like that. We like strength being high for Saren because she's all about doing damage with spores and her miasma. This is a build that only is based around her spores. I'm not going to cast miasma too often. but I will in a pinch. Like, if enemies are actually durable, I'll do it then, because I'll be getting huge spore numbers. So we want our Transient Fortitude and Blind Rage. If you don't have Umbral Intensify, which is one of the mods you get when you do a certain quest line that you may not have done yet, and I'm going to be very hesitant to reveal any of that to you, but you get it from that. It's a guaranteed acquisition. You don't have to worry about random drops or anything. Using a regular Intensify is perfectly fine. It'll be less damage by like 14%, but that's not enough to really matter. So let's face it, it doesn't matter. But I have it on there because I like it. Actually, with regular Intensify, you can often get, I can't right now, but you can often get a, what is it called? The Augur Secrets equipped. And Augur Secrets will let you have actually quite a bit higher. You'll have, instead of being at 30% ability strength, what does that come to? That's 18, I think, total. Augur Secrets is 7, so yeah, 18. 18 total mod power, and you'll have 30 plus 24, 54. You'll have 10% more oomph than this. Now, Umbral Intensify also stacks with, because it's a set mod, that operates a little differently than other set mods, with some other mods that are similar. Umbral. Which will make it so that instead of being 44% ability strength, it'll actually go higher. So let me, real quick, show that off. So that says 44. Now it's up to 55. And I'm gonna put this on harder reach probably. And now it's up to 66%. But you need to have these two mods equipped at the same time to get it up that high. I do not care for this. Saren is one of the very few frames that can, or one of the few frames in my opinion that can maybe get away with it, but I don't care for it. I just want that extra 14%. I don't care about having up to 66 additional if I'm having to use 2 whole other mods to get it that high. I don't care. Because I don't care a lot in this instance about having massive durability, because I'm going to be running through the map doing backflips and stuff, and hopefully not getting hit to begin with. If you want the durability, those are very good for it. Saren can get away with it. She has both pretty high base health and pretty high base armor. So having Vitality, Umbral Vitality, which boosts your health, and Umbral Fiber, which boosts your armor, not bad. So back to my design logic. So I wanted to have maxed out ability strength. Okay. Concessions. Damage. So, to make up for that damage shortfall, I equipped as much power strength as I could in the form of Umbral Intensify, Transient Fortitude, and Blind Rage. This you get from a quest. These two you get from doing, oh shit, how do you get those now? Okay, so you used to get these from doing, Orokin Derelicts, while having Dragon Keys equipped, which might not actually be a thing anymore. One sec. Okay, Dragon Keys are still a thing, so I guess you can still get them the same way, but they moved them. Orokin Derelicts used to be, and I've got to go to navigation to show this, used to be a little dingus-y thing over around here-ish. Actually, it might have moved. It doesn't matter. It was a thing. It was around here. They moved it all, I believe, to Deimos. So this stuff should all be Orokin Derelict locations, except for Necrolisk and Cambion Drift. We're not worrying about that. Yeah, these are all Orokin Derelict. They're a tile set. There's special rooms that appear called vaults, and they use equipment arsenal. Vaults, and I realize I'm dumping a ton of info on you out of absolutely nowhere, and I apologize, just bear with me. Dragon. And in order to open the vaults, they need one of 4 keys, randomly. depends entirely which, totally random when you go in there. And you need either a bleeding, a decaying, an extinguished, or a hobbled dragon key to open them. So what people used to do is they'd go in a group of 4, each person has one of these equipped. These keys all have some given status effect that they grant you, which is bad, a malus, as opposed to a bonus. So the bleeding, I think, reduced your health. Decaying, I think, reduced your shields. Extinguished reduces your damage output, and hobbled reduces your speed, I think. I think that's what it is. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. Speed is greatly reduced, damage is reduced, shields are reduced, health is reduced. So there's all sorts of frame combinations that'll make these completely irrelevant. Or you could just equip all of them to one frame and be an absolute boss because you're a real man. And you don't care about moving slower and being more fragile and dealing no damage whatsoever. Because you're only there for the vault. And to complete whatever the basic objective is. Right now, early game for you, probably a big challenge. Probably not easy because you don't have the mods to overcome that. And that's fine. We all started somewhere. But that's where you get these mods. What are they called? There's a name for them. It's a kind of mod name. Derelict mods? No. I don't remember what it is. There's a specific term that these are called, but suffice it to say, going to one of the vaults will get you a mod like these that has a high bonus, big boost to ability strength, with a substantial minus as well. Big minus to ability efficiency. So, back to design logic. Let's run down the chain one more time. I apologize. I'm bad at doing speeches apropos of nothing. So, like I said, I wanted maximum ability range to make my spores go everywhere. So to do that, I equipped Overextended, Stretch, Augur Reach, Cunning Drift, but that reduced my strength. To counteract that, I equipped Intensify, Transient Fortitude, which boosts strength and reduces duration, and Blind Rage, which boosts strength but reduces efficiency. Efficiency affects how much your powers cost in terms of the blue orb resource, the blue line that you have when you're running around. So low efficiency is bad, because I want to be casting my spores on command whenever I want them. Where are you, range? Energy. Energy, 300 energy, as it is. So what do? I equip a mod that boosts my efficiency. Fleeting Expertise, which also reduces my duration further. But that pops my efficiency to 105%, so instead of a power costing 100 energy to cast, it'll only cost 95 or whatever. Saren, I don't think has any abilities that cost that much. Instead, basically it makes my spores cost 23.75 energy per cast as opposed to 25. And then Miasma is 71 and change versus 75. Toxic Lash 47. Whatever this one is 47 and a half to cast, but I'm not going to be using those too often. So, that's how we got to this point. And I'm going to now actually show that off so that you see the fruits of such labor. For better or for worse. Where are you? Let's do this. Let's do an Elite Sanctuary Onslaught because we like looking ridiculous. And there's probably rewards in Elite Sanctuary Onslaughts that I need. And this is just to show off kill power. I do not have much energy, but come on. And now it spreads to basically the entire map. Everything is blinking, and I am actually dying. And you can see the 35 infected, 32, 38, 486, 500, and it keeps going up and up and up because they are dying, dying, dying. And then you have to recast it and re-up it. They are all being affected quite mightily. But here, they are actually causing quite a lot of damage to me, so I do have to keep moving. So basic Warframe gameplay against enemies that are much stronger than you is run like a mad person. Ideally doing as many backflips and whatnot through the air as you can, which looks ridiculous, but it works. Their accuracy is thrown off while you're in the air. The faster you move, their lower their accuracy. So moving always is the way to be alive in Warframe, especially when you're playing a frame like Saren, who's maxed to the 9s to do lots and lots of movement, to do lots and lots of damage but not take a hit. At least my build. You could build Saren to be quite durable indeed. I'll show that off in a minute. I'll get a durability build. Oh no, I don't want that. So you can see the spore number drops very quickly if I lose it. You want to occasionally kill enemies. I don't want that. There we go. I think that's the semi-automatic, so I should be able to just shoot things. What'll wind up happening is you'll learn to prioritize certain enemies to kill over others. I want full auto, not semi-auto. There we go. So these little guys, and when I say that I mean ones that'll hold your spores a while are going to be big burly dudes. Ones that aren't going to hold your spores are these light little guys, basic crewmen and such. So you're going to wind up, when you want to spread spores, you want to hold on to things like the corpus, the big burly dudes. And kill off the little guys. Like if you need to recast on a light enemy. Shoot and kill them quick. Oh no! I got stuck. I just realized I'm also probably showing off some spoilers whenever I go into operator mode. I apologize for that. That's quest related, you'll figure it out. You too will know what this means one day. So disadvantage of doing that. This removes all my spores from all the enemies. That's not good. Shoot at that now for a sec while I revive this. I'm dead. So yeah, as you can see, glass cannon Saren, not necessarily ideal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I'd been doing before, which is backflip all across, or somersaults everywhere, bullet jumping like a mad person, and hoping they all die off and can't kill me. And then, as I see that the number of infected is going down, I find another enemy, I cast my one again, I shoot and kill them. Rinse, wash, repeat, until victory. Oh shoot, he is behind a wall. I can do a further, I'll do a greater breakdown once I get, like, to wave 4 or whatever. Oh, Noxes are another one that have tons of health, which ordinarily is very bad. We're gonna... There we go. Lots of infected enemies, lots of spore count, and what you'll find is enemies will come in waves, or the damage you'll wind up doing as Saren goes in waves as you have more enemies being affected. Because the damage goes up so quickly that you'll start killing them off very, very fast, and then you'll run out of targets, and then you're like, oh shit, I just ran out of targets, that's bad. Because now my spore damage is going down, so it'll kind of come and go naturally in waves, sort of like a virus. Oy, 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 oy. So all the light stuff tends to die off very quickly, but then you've got the big burly boys, and me getting shot in the face by whatever hit me. I don't honestly know what. The Grineer are by far the hardest to fight, in general, unfortunately, because they've got a ton of durability. They have, what don't they have?
Do not weep for these creatures. They are immortal. They
I'm
can't
not weeping
attack
for them,
their
Samaris. It
children
is
again.
okay.
Do not enjoy the protection.
First, Semi's
For
okay.
you,
Like,
failure has real life consequences.
well, real. Actually, I'm gonna switch to my Deimos. So yeah, lots of damage numbers. Damage numbers are nice, right? I like them. So you'll notice lots of light enemies dying, and then you'll have just a select few left over. You'll be like, well, I want to spread the swarm again, so let's hit another enemy or two. That keeps it up, that keeps those numbers growing. Eximus units will have tons of health usually, so they're a safe bet for carrying your plague forever. So long as you've got one enemy who has spores on them somewhere along the line, you're usually fine. And you don't have to worry about re-upping. But you'll at least have time to re-up. If you lose them all, well, then you don't. This is a really big tile, so it's gonna have a harder time keeping the swarm spored. So yeah, generally you want to have as much range as you can on spores, but you don't necessarily need to have as much as I have. A better build would probably have actual duration attached, because you... Oh, I have no energy. Ah, that's bad. Let's get some energy. Let's get some kills. Energy will come when the murder begins. So the reason I have no energy is because A, I just died. For starters. But B, because there's a ancient disruptor somewhere in here, or Eximus, that is reducing my energy somewhere. What are those called? Leech Eximus.
You are running out of time.
Yeah, they'll run out. So you'll kind of pick up based on feel what enemies you want to be casting spores on versus ignoring. Like, that guy's probably not an ideal choice. These guys are very durable. I should have gone with the regular. I'm not even going to worry about the Kavat right now. I need to get energy back. Are probably okay now. Yeah, you need to refresh them from time to time, because they'll wind up killing everything. And then you're like, oh no, I can't do anything with my spores, because I have them. And you have to kind of start from scratch, and starting from scratch to build up that spore combo is kind of frustrating. So what I usually do is cast on a weak enemy, kill the enemy, because that's guaranteed to spread the spores. Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. And then hope that a large enemy gets infected so they can at least hold on to the spore combo for a while. And rinse, wash, repeat until victory. I hit the wrong enemy. That's great. It's a lot of enemies that I just hit very hard. But I did not kill as many of them as I thought I would. Not sure why. So other things to keep in mind. Dying. Come on. I'm gonna call it after zone 4 here. to start from scratch all the time sucks. Yo. So you see I stopped there and I took a ton of damage. Don't stop. Always move. That's hard to do on a console, I realize, because you have to do all the things you have to do with the controller. I play with mouse and keyboard. I don't even know how you can play with a controller. I've never tried. But I can't imagine doing quick 180s and... Wow, that's some pretty bad lag, I'm not sure why. Keeping the swarm up. And I am just going to let this end. And I'll do kind of a more detailed breakdown of some of the other abilities, pros, cons, as well as augments, which you can get from syndicates. So the reason I keep popping into this, which you'll understand when you do the quest line for it, is because I've got a thing that lets me repair damage when I'm in that mode, and it's saving my life a lot.
Hunter, the sanctuary will go on without you.
I got a T4. What even drops from a T4? I don't even know. Show me! Or it can just, like, not tell me what that does. I don't care about my sets. Okay, now I have to look up what the T4 gets me, because the new end of mission reward screen is dumb. With T4, Titania Prime, Karis Prime, Death Cube Prime, Sakti, Teko, and Paris components. Edit Kir. Okay, so, Saren. Other abilities. Ugrad. Let's go to... What's my all strength at going for? Anything? This is probably a better build already. You'll kill things even faster, if anything. But your range takes a big hit. So we'll do the all-rounder again. We'll just kind of do a general breakdown. And I do want arcanes. I'm going to give myself arcane energized because I hate being without energy. Hate it. Love having energy. Hate being without. Arcanes, don't worry about. That's going to be a much, much later thing. So don't stress. I can live without them. You can live without them. We can all live without them, but they are very handy to have. So... Oh, I just realized why I'm having so much difficulty. It didn't help that I didn't have, like, the best durability mod ever, which is adaptation equipped. I obviously don't have room for adaptation anywhere on this, but suffice it to say, it would be a good idea. But for my all-rounder, I'm going to have that on there. I don't care about armor that much. Adaptation's great. So every time, with adaptation, and it's a pretty rare mod. What does that drop from? Is that from arbitrations? I think that's from arbitrations. What adaptation does is every single time you take damage, you get plus 10% resistance to that damage type for up to 20 seconds, or up to 10% resistance up to 20 seconds, and that stacks to 90% damage resistance for that type. So if you've got something that shoots at you, a little tiny things, like a little tiny bullets, a lot of tiny bullets. Let's try words again here. So if you've got something like your average everyday Grineer Lancer who shoots at you with little tiny bullets, yes, there we go, I can use words now. Those hits will hit, and each instance is going to increase that resistance by a chunk. And you're going to have 90% damage resistance to whatever they're shooting at you. Impact, puncture, slash, whatever. Heat if it's a shock, or a whatever the flamethrower troopers are that the Grineer have. So you're going to take less damage to that. This damage resistance stacks with anything. Any damage that you take, this is going to cause you to resist it. Any other additional damage resistance sources you have, say you're playing as, what's their name? oh my gosh, Mesa. And Mesa has an ability.
Excellent armaments.
Shatter Shield. Shatter Shield, which gives you a damage reduction of 95%. That's going to stack with Adaptation. So I highly recommend Adaptation for any frame. It is never bad on anyone. Particularly Saren. Particularly now that they've done the changes to how shields work, which have made shields incredibly good to have, because there's a anytime you fully lose your shields, you have like a full second or so of invulnerability. You cannot be killed outright. Well, it's not perfect invulnerability, but basically you take no damage during that period, unless they're rapid firing at you, and then it'll go down a little. And there's exceptions all across the board, but the basic flow is there's shield gating, which means you get your shield shot, but before it starts affecting your health, you'll usually have a little moment of time where you can, like a little brief get out of jail free, where you can oh shit out of there, you know, like do a dodge roll or hopefully just move somewhere else. Perform some action that'll let you keep from having your health get damaged. This is mitigated by anything doing absurd amounts of damage to you in one shot. This is mitigated by things that shoot lots of rapid hits. But typically you've got about a second after your shields go down before you start taking damage again. As a rule. This did not used to be true. It meant that if anything shot at you real hard, you were dead. If anybody shot at you with a lot of little hits, you were dead. With high damage, you were dead. Now, shields basically act as, well, an additional shield that help you out a lot. Saren has shields. Use them. But my point is, where I was coming from is Adaptation works for damage being received by your shields, so it's good. Bottom line, worth having equipped. Saren is in an interesting position in that she can build herself to be very durable. Let me make a durability build here. I don't need an all-rounder for this. I can afford to scrap this build, so that's fine. Just pretend you have whatever aura you have in there. I have Corrosive Projection out of habit. I'm going to unequip everything. So, back out, go back in, upgrade, there we go. Alright, everything at normal levels for Saren Prime. She has slightly more health, I think, and maybe slightly more energy than regular Saren. Ignore that. The difference between primes and regular non-prime frames is so insignificant as to really not matter at the end of the day. You get a little more oomph out of primes. They usually have a little bit more in some stat somewhere, and a different visual appearance, but it's basically the same. So for durability, Saren's actually pretty well set in terms of caster frames that cast big nuking stuff that kills stuff in wide areas, because she's actually got a reasonable baseline amount of armor and a reasonable baseline amount of health and shields. Slightly more health than usual, quite a bit more armor than usual compared to, say, I don't know, Mag. Mag has like no armor. Most frames that rely on heavy amounts of casting at a certain point in time when the game was made, things are all different now. Older frames typically have this problem of having just no armor, and armor being kind of an insignificant trait or stat for them, whereas Saren doesn't. Armor only works on health, though. The damage reduction that armor provides only works on health. Which is why I tend to shy away from it. I am not sure how accurate this stat is. This reduces damage to health by 67.7%. I don't know how accurate that is. Suffice it to say, because Saren has such well-rounded durability stats, we can afford to put things like Prime Vigor on her. And of course, Adaptation, because we like Adaptation. It's a very good mod. Let's do it. If if you cast a lot but don't think you're getting... I'm going to turn down the music a little real quick. If you like casting a lot, but don't feel super... I'm going to actually go with regular non-prime Vigor. Vigor you can get from Nightmare missions. Nightmare missions are... Navigation. Anytime you see a mission that's got this weird red glowy symbol on it, and it says... and when you click on it, it's got a choice between a regular and a nightmare. It'll usually have some negative effect, like energy drain mode. I've talked to like 6 people in recent memory who said that low gravity is their least favorite negative, and I just don't understand it. This is practically a bonus, low gravity mode, but setting that aside, they'll have some negative effects to the mission that you have to go through the mission to do, but at the end of the mission, you'll be rewarded with a nightmare mod, which is usually a mod that has 2 stats that get buffed at once, like Vigor, which boosts shield capacity and health at the same time. It's pretty good. Well-rounded, fits on a lot of frames. Not super expensive, it's only 11 cost. Doesn't provide a huge bonus like Redirection. Redirection provides a 440% shield capacity bonus. Where is Vitality? Vitality provides 440% health. But Vigor stacks with both of them. So, if you're going for high durability, you can have Vigor, Redirection, and Vitality at the same time. And you know what? Why not? Let's double down and have Steel Fiber to boost our armor. So you can have a lot of health, you can have quite a bit of shields, and a fair amount of armor. Again, armor only affects your health damage. So when an enemy is shooting at your shields, it does not care. Shields have their own resistances, and I don't remember what they are right now. It doesn't matter. That all got changed not that long ago, and I can't remember what the changes were, so we're going to ignore it. We're going to pretend they don't exist, because we don't like thinking right now. I had a train of thought with this. So what I'm saying is Saren is good. Saren's a good frame, despite any evidence to the contrary. So an ability breakdown. Actually, let me go to Saren's abilities here. Abilities. Because this is where you can find this tips screen, which is fairly valuable and tells you stuff you're not going to find easily elsewhere. Aside from going straight to the Warframe wiki, which I recommend. But going onto the Warframe wiki is very daunting, because there is a... What's a nice way to put this? That's like PG-13. There's a lot of information there, and a lot of it is not going to be especially helpful to you, because you don't know the information you're looking for. So what I usually recommend is, if you have a specific question, go to the wiki with it. Or ask someone like me, or ask someone else. Typically, they're going to redirect you and say, look it up on the wiki. But what I would say is, like, you could go and spend time, like, cruising through the wiki and just finding stuff. Just finding information on the wiki by cruising around on it. But that's a rabbit hole, because there are, like, a zillion rabbit holes for figuring out what stuff there is going on in Warframe, because they keep adding new features, and it all gets real confusing for people even like me who've been playing since late 2012, before it was in open beta. And it's there's a lot. It's just a lot going on. So what I recommend is, like, use the wiki. Use the wiki anytime you have a question, but maybe don't necessarily use the wiki until you have a question. That might be what I'm saying, because it's easy to get bogged down and totally confused. And I know this entire, like, series of lecturing that I've been doing on Saren and anything adjacent to Saren in the midst of my descriptions is real information overload, and I'm sorry. There's a lot. But let's do an ability breakdown on Saren, because I wasn't planning on having a structured stream today, but here we are. So we talked about spores. We discussed that Molt exists, but that's about all we did. So Molt is great. I like Molt. Molt will pop down a little decoy of yourself, which has a very high aggro value to it. So you pop it down, and enemies are going to want to shoot that more than they want to shoot you, without fail. If they're currently shooting at you when you do it, usually you'll see them swing their guns to that. You also get a quick little speed boost, which at base level, or at rank 3, without any modification, I should say, gives you a speed multiplier of 1.5x and lasts for 5 seconds. So interesting things about Molt. When it dies, it deals some damage, which is indicated where it says, and if I move the mouse, it's going to go away, but if you look where it says drain, duration, health, radius damage, it says 400 next to a skull and crossbones. Skull and crossbones is the toxin damage elemental icon, so it does 400 toxin damage in a radius of 10 meters. When it dies, this has 500 health. What I don't remember off the top of my head, and it'll last by default for 40 seconds. Excuse me. Hiccuping. Because I tried to breathe in while breathing out at the same time and it didn't work. Water, good. Train of thought. Yes. Cute tricks with Molt. If you have a high range, high damage build, you can use it offensively. You can only have one Molt out at once. But recasting will destroy the Molt that you have. When you destroy the Molt that you already have out, it explodes. So you can use it offensively. It'll do the toxin damage to everything in range. I don't recommend that because it's extremely expensive to do. If you had a maxed efficiency build, and for what it's worth, or as a general note, efficiency, energy efficiency, caps out at 175%. Even if you could go higher, and there's only basically 2 mods that let you do it, even if you could go higher, it won't. It'll always be 175% efficiency, which means everything is 75% less expensive to cast. So a 100 energy cost power would cost you only 25. If you have both of the mods that boost energy efficiency maxed out, they will that would come out. Geez, now I have to actually look it up. I have to leave my train of thought just to go on this friggin' thought train. Efficiency. So streamline, click, and fleeting expertise. Streamline provides 30% ability efficiency. Fleeting expertise provides 60%. If you look here, that only goes to 175, even though 30% plus 60% is 90%. Do I think it would be that big a crime to have 90% energy efficiency? Absolutely not. This does not mean, however, that you're only ever getting 75% efficiency ever. If you have a mod that reduces efficiency, I just had it typed in, like Blind Rage, which reduces by 55%. Can I even fit this in? No, I can't. Because of course not. That would be too freaking easy. Okay. If you do the math, minus 55% ability efficiency would put me at 45%. Now I add on 30, and now I add on 90. So 45, calculator time. 45 plus 90 equals, drumroll, 135%. So you are getting the full 90% increase to efficiency, but you can never exceed 175% energy efficiency. This seems like it's in the reads, but it is a problem you will run up against when you're trying to make a highly energy efficient frame. And I don't think it's necessary because there's no way to exceed or even hit 100% energy efficiency, or 200% of energy efficiency, it's not possible. You can't do it. So you can never cast for free, even if you didn't have that 75% cap there. Suffice it to say, the cap is there, and I don't necessarily like it, but it's there, and you can work around with it. Back to whatever I was talking about before, which was abilities. So you can use Molt offensively if you really want to, by detonating it manually. Probably not a good idea, but it is doable if you're fighting against enemies that are weak to toxin, I guess. And Spores does do corrosive, not viral. It used to do viral, and that was one of the things that made it so damn dangerous. And I think Miasma did corrosive. Actually, whatever. It did things. So Molt, it's a great defensive ability. I'll do some all-rounder gameplay with Saren somewhere, just to kind of show off all her different abilities. And I'm also going to go into her augments. Toxic Lash. It's real basic. Press button, get toxin damage. The effect is doubled for melee strikes, so you get even more damage to your melee than you do to your ranged weapons, but it does work with ranged weapons. It also will make all the spores on an enemy you attack detonate immediately. By default at rank 3, i.e. you have your frame at level 30, and I'm going to act like that's a done deal. I'm not going to act like that's special. It's not. It'll feel special early on, but being at rank 30 is going to be your default state most of the time. Or at level 30 for a frame for a weapon is going to be your default state 90% of the time, except when you're initially leveling it up. And I'm not going to go into the reads on that because that's going to be such a small portion of your time comparatively. It lasts for 45 seconds. It's pretty good. Really solid buff. There's an augment that I'll point out in a minute that's very, very, very handy. That makes this even better. Miasma, which I've kind of gone into, it deals viral damage in a big radius. Not as big as your spore spreading radius, but big. It consumes... I think it consumes the spores, but it definitely enhances damage that they receive due to the spores. And it... Where things get tricky is how it actually deals the damage, because you'll see that 150 damage, which seems really low. And it is kind of, because it does ticks over time. Now, at one point in time, having extremely low duration was incredibly desirable. And I have to check to see if that's still true, because it would do a lot of ticks very, very quickly. I think they changed that, so having a low duration is not necessarily a good idea. For using Miasma, anyway. It doesn't last super long. They tend to stagger while it's occurring. Nothing too special there. It's pretty basic. It just nukes everything in an area. The real cool powers... she's got a combination of cool and tricky abilities. Spores is the one that's going to take the longest to get accustomed to how they work. And I've kind of gone over some basics on that. If you have specific questions, I can answer them. I'm going to now read through the tips and see if there's anything interesting here that I didn't know. Saren can spread spores by killing enemies under the effects of Miasma, killing enemies with Molt's explosion, or attacking them while Toxic Lash is active. Okay, yeah. You can just shoot the... I didn't realize they were affected by Molt's explosion, but basically if you kill enemies while spores are on them, they'll spread, typically. Maybe you do need Lash, though. No, I don't think you do. Also, physically shooting at the spores will do it. That will generally be fine. Combine Toxic Lash with area of effect weapons to spread spores effectively. Yes, because it doesn't. Cast Molt to give Saren a brief movement speed boost. Whoop-de-doo. Molt's movement speed boost. Initial health with ability strength mods. Oh. Oh yeah, I guess you could do that. Recast Molt to detonate. Oh, they talk about that. Okay, good. Oh, okay. So, like like Rhino's Iron Skin, Molt will, like for a second or two, be invincible, and all damage it absorbs will act to increase the health it winds up having. So it'll last longer. I think Loki's decoy works the same way. Reviving, yeah. Afflicting enemies with multiple casts. Really? I don't think that works. I'm not sure that's true. They're saying maximize Spore's corrosive damage by inflicting enemies with multiple casts, but I've found that typically that's kind of irrelevant if you're spreading to the entire room. They're either affected or they're not. Recast Miasma to refresh viral status effect on previously affected enemies. These tips kind of suck. Because viral works differently now than is implied. Molt to strip Saren of all oh, I didn't know that. So Molt apparently gets rid of status effects too. So if you were like taking bleed damage from a slash proc, or heat damage, or you've been lit on fire, casting Molt would get rid of those, which is nice. So I'm going to go with an all-rounder build here. I'm going to get rid of most of this stuff. I'll keep adaptation. I'm going to go with primed flow. Actually, I'll go with regular mods. So flow to boost my energy cap. So I have 600 instead of 300 energy. I'm going to go with streamline to increase my energy efficiency and intensify to increase that. Continuity to increase my duration, and stretch. So here we go. New stat line. And you know what? I can fit Vigor, so I'm going to fit Vigor on. So that's going to boost both my health and shields. It is fairly manageable to get a hold of. It feels pretty good to equip. What is Vigorous Swap? I don't even know where this came from. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, now the thing to dive into that I wanted to dive into was augments. This is important. Or these are pretty cool, I should say. Excuse me. Augment mods you get from syndicates, I couldn't tell you which syndicates these come from. If you haven't gotten to doing syndicate stuff yet, just keep playing the game, doing quest lines as they become available, and syndicates should become available pretty quickly. I think by the time you reach your first, what are they called? The hub areas, the space stations, what are those called? Jeez, now I have to actually look it up. Ugh, I gotta look it up. Relays. They're called relays, Frag. Jeez Louise, I'm having one of those mornings, I apologize. Here we go. There's one on Mercury, right? Lorunda Relay. You should be able to interact with syndicates there. And they'll have various mods and weapons. Here we go. Syndicates. Say Arbiters of Hexus, for instance. You've got a number of mods. Some for weapons, most for abilities. And they'll do different things that'll enhance specific abilities. So for Saren, we'll talk about Saren's augments. Hers are actually pretty interesting. Augments. We've got Venom Dose for her spores. If you hold the cast button, you will grant all allies within 15 meters an additional 50% corrosive damage to their attacks for 28 seconds. That number goes up to... I don't have it maxed out for some reason. 100% for 40 seconds within 15 meters. Pretty handy if you want to just give people corrosive damage. Ta-da! Eat armor alive. Revealing spores. Infected enemies within 10 meters will show up on the minimap. Well, that's kind of useless, so we'll ignore that. We don't care about revealing spores. What we do care about is regenerative molt. After casting molt, Saren regenerates 50 health per second for 10 seconds. And I think that actually increases based on your stat line. Duration, efficiency, range, and strength. Yeah, like with 130 strength, it's going up to 10 or 65 health per second. Maybe it doesn't last longer than 10 seconds, but that's fine. I think actually if I go full strength, let me see if I can fit regenerative molt on here somewhere. And of course it's going to make it difficult. Here we go. It's 322%. That's, yeah, 161 health per second. So that scales with your power strength. So that can be very handy because it makes your molt even better. It makes it so that you can heal quite quickly using molt. Then you have Contagion Cloud, which I'm quite fond of, which makes Toxic Lash create a cloud on enemy death. Creates 5-meter toxic clouds, dealing 300% toxin per second for 12 seconds with every kill. Damage is twice as strong for melee kills. So, with our enhanced stats, that'll do a 7.25 meter effect radius, 15.6 seconds of duration, and 390 damage per second, which is pretty good. Not a ton, but a bit more. But yeah, it kind of acts like each enemy kill is basically acts like a miniature torrid shot if you're in a dojo or in a clan, and you've gotten the torrid, which leaves behind a little toxic cloud every time you shoot it. Basically, every single enemy you kill is going to be like that, that scales with your power strength, so it's pretty good. So you can, like, if you have a crowd of enemies and you kill, like, the first 3 in a row, all the enemies coming through to get at you are going to kill themselves and die horribly. Which is good. So you can equip multiple augments at once. That's no difficulty. Provided you have room, which I don't. Because of course I don't. For some reason these still can't go in Exilus slots. I don't know why. Except for revealing spores, which can. Not that you'd want to. Who cares about showing them on the minimap? There are other mods that do the same thing and aren't conditional. So I'll keep Contagion Cloud because I like it. Let me actually try to fit on regenerative molt while I'm at it. I'll do that by replacing Vigor. And let me check my Exilus slots and see what mods I can throw on there. Not too many. I can't put on the drift mods, so I will do, I don't need to worry about cast speed. So I'll do power drift, which boosts my power strength. So I'll go up to 145. This is nothing special. Actually, I do want to change my aura, though. Because corrosive projection is, let's face it, doing me no favors at all. Growing power probably would be better. Oh, I can't afford it. So we'll go with Energy Siphon, even though it's not especially useful, especially with Zeneric's Energy Dash, and if you don't know what that is, that's okay. You will learn. I won't go into that because that involves, I guess I'll call them spoilers for lack of a better term. So we'll take this, what does this need? Enemies on a dropship. Okay, I could do that. If it's dropship enemies, I can go to Pluto and do that pretty handily. Pluto, and where are you? What's the one I'm looking for? It is either a defense I'll want to do. Could do mob def. Mobile defense isn't bad. Here, we'll do a, oh, no shields? Sure. Why not? let me make sure I have regenerative molt, because this is actually going to be very useful. We'll do it solo. Yes, I have regenerative molt and contagion cloud. I do a quick mod swap on this thing. I can't do a quick mod swap on this thing because I don't have the juice. We're not going to worry about the granularity of modding weapons right now. Suffice it to say, you want to get as much base damage on, as much multi-shot, or multi-shot, base damage, whatever elemental combination you want based on the enemies you want to be fighting. I don't want excavation. I want armor. Okay, I want Pluto. Here we go. Mob death. Yeah, let's do mob death. Against no shields. We have no shields. Yeah, and that's basically it. Is you want to prioritize multi-shot damage, or base damage, multi-shot, elemental damage. Everything after that is up to you. If you have room for it, fit it in. It's all personal preference. As for elemental damage types, right now, viral damage is absolutely superb.
Okay, ready to blast
For
into
a number of
some
reasons.
third
There, you see my health going back up? There we go. That is because of regenerative molt.
Got to find a terminal. Proceed and prepare.
And now, I'm leaving behind gas clouds, although I can't see them now, which is a little frightening, so I've got to figure out why that is. I maybe have to do it with melee instead. Oh, it could be because of my energy color. Yeah, it's because of my... You see that... Oh, here we go. Oh, no! Not to kill. Okay, what was hitting me? Something was hitting me and not my... no, I don't want that. There we go. Up there. Shoot that. No shield mode may have been a mistake, but here we are. I just have to hope that it doesn't apply to... Did I put... I don't think I did.
I'm in, Tech. This will take a moment.
Do one. Oh, I'll go after that. Don't shoot me, shoot the thing. Thank you. Shoot up as opposed to me.
Working on it. Continue to defend.
That is indeed fragile and weak, and not enshielderated. It's bad.
You've got robots inbound.
Yeah. I didn't like that flicker. It better not be okay, it's not Stalker, we're fine. It's not Stalker, we don't care.
Terminal hacked. Keep.
Ugh. I'm gonna ignore all that. I'm gonna try and get this objective done because right now things are not going as smoothly as I would like. Exploding barrels aren't doing me any favors either. Oh. Ignore that guy. He's just a lich. He's helping me out because I'm playing really badly.
Upload me and defend.
So what I could probably do here is just hit 4 to win.
I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
So again, I'm casting it up in the air because these are all shooty enemies. Oh, is that a drop ship I heard? It was, and I died. I landed on a grenade. Why does this always happen whenever I'm trying to stream? Every time without fail. Not spreading the spores like you're supposed to. Why would you be this way? Why would you be this way? Oh! Where are those from? What hath got... Oh, there's a thing over there. I don't want to deal with that. Go away. I said thing. A bursa. I don't want to deal with a bursa. Ah, nice. Thanks, dude. Oh, it's that. Never mind, it's not a bursa. It's a thing I don't want to fight even more. That's good. So, Nightmare mission's kind of hard. I'm having a real Caesar thou art mortal moment right now. I'm not sure I like it. They have shields, but I don't. I've got my friend, though, and he's doing nothing whatsoever.
Now that we're warmed up, what's next?
Here is a terminal.
There, shoot at that.
In and get ready to defend.
Careful, she can.
I'm in, Tenno.
Ah, jeez.
This will take a moment.
They are actually killing it too, which is unfortunate. Also a good idea to pop it in midair, except against infested, because then they'll never attack. Oh my god! I wasn't keeping track of how often I was dying, so I got myself killed like an idiot. Okay. So, let's try that again with a build that's actually worth something. He said, even though all-rounder builds should have been fine, but no, no, no. No, no, no. Did I, actually make headway on that? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. So we're gonna switch back to our ranged build.
If I may say, operator,
Actually, I'll go
your
with,
chosen Warframe suits you. Ha ha.
Yeah, that's not necessary, but we'll do it. Go with full strength. How about that? Ha! Ha ha! Great strength! We'll try that again. Not exactly the easiest thing to solo in the world, but here we are.
This is a mobile defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into the network. Be prepared for heavy resistance. I can't do this without you. Location reached. Drop me and defend our position. This will only get more difficult. Get to a terminal and prepare for enemy resistance. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
So things are not exactly going according to plan.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
And the objective got killed because I'm stupid and wasn't defending it. Hey, got 160% accuracy. Some fluke of hitting multiple enemies at once. Alright, let's try that again when I'm not apparently going full turbo scrub.
This is a mobile defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into the network. Be prepared for heavy resistance. I can't do this without you.
We'll put an end to this corpus greed.
Location reached. Drop me in and defend our position.
I don't even know what hit me. I have no idea.
I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
So everything is going very poorly today. And I truly don't know why anymore. I don't want Xenric experience. Saren's very good, I swear, but I'm not showing that off very well. Oh, but I have veiled the ribbon, so that's nice. What even is the side on? Oh, it's that thing. Yeah, I mean, okay. I think I already have a side-on ribbon, but whatevs. Profound rolling of the eyes ensues. Let's go with that. Yeah, part of my problem is I don't have any extra attack range, and I'm accustomed to actually being able to hit things. So let's go with Primed Reach instead of that. And this way we'll be able to hit enemies that are more than 2 feet in front of our face. So that'll be good. The good signs here. Who's the... 'Cause these are repeating a lot. I also gotta figure out what I'm doing wrong here in terms of modding. This is doing cold damage. Ah, right. That's right. Convert that to right.
Welcome to the world of Street Fighter 3. Prepare for battle.
One box could leave you messed up and fractured. Locked in uppercuts, they may leave you captured. May the best fighter win and win again. Battle to the top until his life ends. But if his life ends and he starts to decay, may one of his street soldiers avenge me. See you talking to the game, couldn't be talking to me. I got enough to beat and more.
Switch back to the all-rounder, but actually give it worthwhile stats. Give me a sec. Keep streamline, keep those. Keep that. defense if I can't fit it because of course I can't. That would involve actually planning ahead. And I can't fit that because I won't fit, so it's going to be Power Drip, Prime Vigor. Now we are very durable indeed. And actually, I don't want Prime Vigor. I'm going to want probably Prime Fight or regular Vitality because I don't have any shields on this particular mission. Having low strength is bad though. Don't want that. It's too late. That's what we've got. Whatever, we'll use our 4. A lot. Drift. Let's see. No. No. Maybe. No, I think I need Power Drift then. Just to have a little something in terms of power strength. Try getting good in a hurry. Because I'm going to have a longer duration on my bolt, this should be a little easier. We'll see. Hopefully, we will cease to embarrass myself. I'll actually clear something worth a damn.
This is a multi-defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into them. Be prepared for heavy resistance.
There we go, I can actually melee attack enemies again. What a crazy feeling.
Location reached. Drop me in and defend our position.
I'm gonna put it right up there. They'll shoot at that.
I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
Dropship. No, I don't need some auto. There we go. Did that spread it? It did.
Still working on it. Continue to... Looks like heavy activity ahead.
I will consider it a good day if I'm able to clear this. I did point, yeah, I did. Ah, fudge. So, mistakes may have been made. In that thing's a thing. So we're gonna just avoid that thing as much as possible because it is the danger.
Proceed and prepare.
Saren, because Saren is a caster-heavy frame, it does have some difficulties, as people are probably noticing. I say people. Kuzong and Almir Depala. Thank you again for tuning in.
Get me in and get ready to defend.
I'm gonna ignore the Kavat for now because I can't really afford to worry about it.
Tenno. This will take a moment.
Is that really still? There we go. Jeez, because I died. Reverted to, I wanted to put that up there. That's probably better, yeah. I keep having to remind myself that I actually have high energy efficiency, so I can get away with things like casting. So I did that while I was in the bubble because I made it pointless. I will live without the cat for now.
Still working
I'd
on
prefer
it.
to have the cat,
Continue
but
to defend.
don't you do this to me now, man. I don't approve. I do have freaking adaptation, right? Yeah, I do. They're just doing so much damage that it doesn't matter, because of course they are. or 2 down? I think that's 2. Yeah, it's 2.
Terminal spotted.
This is not
Upload me and
my
prepare
favorite
to
position
defend.
in the world.
I'm in town.
Other advantages of Saren's spores are that they are a one-handed cast. It's the little things. So by one-handed cast, I mean that I can cast it. Oh, let me show off how to use this offensively. So I'm just mashing. Here we go.
Still working on
Pop,
it.
pop,
Continue to
pop,
defend.
pop. It blows up. They die. It's good. Also just bring up a ton of energy. So a one-hand cast means I can do things like reload and shoot while casting the power. Oh no! I'm dead.
The odds were against us, Tenno.
I'm not dead.
But we did it.
Yet.
Mission complete.
There's still plenty of time for me to die here, so I have cleared this through the skin of my teeth. Finally. Yeesh. And I got a Constitution out of it, which provides you some extra ability duration. That's one of the dual stat mods I'm talking about, or nightmare mods, because they provide 2 bonuses, usually not as high as per bonus as a mod dedicated to the purpose. For instance, this will max out at Arsenal. Upgrade. Duration. So, the mod I just got was a Constitution. Which caps out at 28% ability duration, whereas Continuity, the mod that's just dedicated to ability duration, is 30%. Constitution's also kind of an odd one out in that it's very expensive. It also lets you recover from knockdowns faster, which is of dubious value. Usually people aren't going to equip this. Unless they're really maximizing duration. I have a few setups that will use that. Continuity will provide more bang for your buck for duration. Constitution will provide a little less bang for your duration buck, but it'll also give you some knockdown recovery. Other similar mods include... actually, most of them are going to be in the weapons. Similar mods include Shred, which provides a boost to fire rate and a boost to punch through. The boost to fire rate on speed trigger is about double that of that on Shred, but Shred also provides punch through. Punch. Yeah, here we go. Metal Auger. Metal Auger maxed out costs 15 points to equip. Shred maxed out costs only 11. Shred provides 1.2 punch through meters, in-game meters of punch through. Metal Auger provides 2.1. Shred gives you any amount of punch through while also boosting fire rate, while also being cheaper than Metal Auger. Shred, therefore, is phenomenal. There's also Primed Shred, which you can get. Which is just Shred but better. It's also very expensive. It's 16 to equip if you don't have the V polarity that it's equipped in. And that's just straight up better than Metal Auger. For 1 point cost more, it's straight up better and provides 55% fire rate. primed shred, if you can get it and fit it on a weapon that it's worth putting on, i.e. nothing that explodes. Anything that does not explode, it's worth on a rifle. You have also under shotguns. What shotguns would I even want to show off more? Why not? Show off a more, because why not? You've got some very, very good dual stat mods for shotguns. Not Hell's Chamber. Here we go. Blaze, which is plus 60% base damage and plus 60% heat damage, which is pretty good. Better than that, though, arguably, is Seeking Fury, which is like Shred, only more so, because it boosts reload speed, not fire rate, which is very nice on a lot of shotguns. Better even than those, however, is... It's 5 cost. Where is it? Chilling Reload. It is dirt cheap. It provides 60% cold damage and a bonus to reload speed, and it only costs 5 points to equip when maxed out. If you like shotguns, get yourself a Chilling Reload. It's pretty good. Other dual stat mods that are worth having are any of these elemental dual stat mods, which are all acquired in different means, and some of them are kind of complicated to get. These typically don't come from Nightmare missions. They'll come from something else, like a spy mission, like killing in Corrupted Vor in the Void Tile set, and a few other things. And events. They're all... Whenever there's an event, they'll usually have some set of these, as well as Barrow Katir when he shows up. And these all have an equivalent for each weapon type. You've got the shotgun mods, which are Frigid Blast, Scattering Inferno. Well, there's 7 costs, so let's get them all. Scattering Inferno, Frigid Blast, Shell Shock, and Toxic Barrage. You've got... They all basically do the exact same thing, just with different elements. So it's plus 60% elemental heat. Some people, I think, call these the 60-60 mods. 60% heat plus 60% status chance. Cold status chance. Toxin status chance, electricity status chance. There's an equivalent of these for everything: secondaries, rifles, shotguns, and melee. And they all do the same thing. How you employ them is up to you. They're also... The thing that makes them most special is that they are only 7 points to equip each. So you can have... They are pretty easy to fit into a lot of builds. And they are good for boosting your status chance, and they boost your damage. So they're not bad. Let's get that hind equipped again. I am running very much out of time very, very quickly. Listen, KMGIBA002605, if you type in goofy text one more time, if I want to become famous by followers, private viewers on some Russian website .ru, I swear to God, I'm gonna actually get viewership and subscribers who are gonna come to your house and ban you from my streams. I don't know how that's gonna work. I swear to God, I don't want to hear it. You spam. You know, I had plans for today. I don't remember what they were. Alright, I need to collect these. I remember now. Oh, right. I was actually going to farm some of these mineral resources. Like, I have to get... What's it called? Hespizin? Something. And I think that was to build a duplicate Baruch. How much time do I I have like an absolute maximum of like 10 minutes, and then I have to actually be out the door. So I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna grab Octavia so that I can't see myself. Octavia, and I do have my duration build equipped, yes, because we are going to be cruel and unusual. That's probably fine. I do now have to actually switch to using the steel Meridian logo thing.
Boundary items ready to claim, operator.
And grinding that stuff is an exercise in just never focus on it. Always just like have one equipped, one of the sigil things equipped, and like get it passively. Don't worry about farming for it actively, because you will lose your mind. It will destroy your soul. It just let it happen over time. That's, I guess, how it intended to be done, and that's what you should do, because it has a cap. You can only get so much of the syndicate affiliation per day, which increases as you get more. Next Warframe stream, can you do a guide on Mirage? Absolutely. I would love to do a guide on Mirage, because I love Mirage. Mirage is great. Oh man, remind me of that, Kuzong. I will absolutely do it. It would be my honor and privilege to do a Mirage guide. Mirage is so cool. Do please hold me to that. Alright, I've got 10 minutes of Hespizim I can farm. Actually, it's like down to 5 now, but whatever. Let's do it. Let's do it. Where are you? Where are you? So the only thing I care about right now for mining is red mining spots, because they have the ores that I need. Hespizim is an ore, and I need it. I'm invisible right now because Octavia. But yes, I would. Oh god, I'd love to do one for Mirage. Mirage is so good. Once you understand what you're doing with Mirage, Mirage seems kind of weird at first, or basic, and she is kind of basic. She's really straightforward, but the stuff she's got going for her are really good. She's mechanically very sound, I should put it that way. Let me find a cave. I think that'll have what I need. What caves are close to me? Spaceport Cave, right there. Odd that I'm not getting many responses on here. No. So, again, the only reason I'm skipping those is because they are blue, and they are not going to provide me with the resource drops that I'm going to need them to provide me with. Where even is the one that this is indicating? It's up top somewhere? Don't do that. Oh, it's way at the top. Okay. Nope, still blue. This is, oh boy, turning into a boondoggle is what it's doing. This cave is also not very well populated with ores. I don't like it. This cave. I don't like. Let's try other caves. This might be a larger cave. Way over that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Way over here. Got something around here. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Is that all underground? That's of course. I think all underground. Ah, no, here we go. The red thing with 3 dots, which means I have a higher chance of getting the magical little double drop thing, or extra drop thing. Axodite, that does not help me in the slightest. Thank you, Warframe. I'm pretty sure all of that is in the cave below me, so I'm gonna get into that cave and hope for lots of red spots. Or points, whatever they're called. Okay, Where's the entrance? Is it up here? It might be up here, yeah. No, it's definitely not up there. It is somewhere... Oh, it might be under this. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Yeah! Alrighty. Yeah, lots of zoom. I think I need like, what's it, 50? This was it. Whenever you're looking for one of these minerals or gems or whatever, you never are going to get it. It's like Monster Hunter logic. Never want what you need because the game has a desire sensor and it knows it will never give it to you. It's all, there's some Skinner box style psychology that explains why that's the case, but it's a perception issue as opposed to reality. But RNG is a harsh mistress. Nope. Well, that's a lot of them somewhere. Yes! I need that. Wait, where is it all? Is it up here on the surface? I saw one of them. It just flashed by. There we go. I don't need Traveride. I don't need Venerol. At least I'm getting lots of red ones. This is good. 4 locations. 2. I can't even see it because of the white stuff. Saxodite, I don't need that. It pops up in a bracket, but I can't always see that because there's snow everywhere and the bracket is bright white. Or dim white. So it makes this whole thing very hard, and I have like 60 seconds before I have to absolutely sprint to be somewhere else. So this is suboptimal timing, one might say. I was not paying attention to time at all today. I got somebody asking me questions about frames, and was like, oh yeah! I want to answer those questions, because they're cool. Shows that I'm interacting with the community, albeit dispensing a lot of information that isn't necessarily in a helpful order or format. Okay, these are all blue. You ever get the feeling that maybe what you're looking for is somewhere else? Okay, well, it's that one way over on the wall. Can I hit it from here? I absolutely can. This will do me no good, but I'm going to do it anyway just because of, oh, I didn't want to do that. There are other mining tools. This is by far the easiest one to use. The other one is what you get from the plains, which makes you draw shapes, and that sucks. The Sunpoint mining laser drill. Look at this. Look at that, dude. Shoot that. I try to do this every week. Warframe Wednesdays. I'm Fraggoth. I do other streams throughout the week. I do a Mecha Mondays stream where I do something giant robot related or mecha adjacent. And then on Saturdays, I do a Storytime Saturdays where I read short stories or indeed entire novels aloud. Right now, we're about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through Robert A. Heinlein's The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. So if you like hearing about revolutionary coups against the system and the man with a capital S and a capital M respectively, that is your book. And how a revolutionary coup can succeed against a apparently economically superior force, or a numerically superior force. In this case, it's more to do with the moon's unique economic capability in the book, so that's not a good example. But yeah, I do try to stream throughout the week, and feel free to tune in on those. I try to do them at about noon Eastern Standard Time every single day that I stream. Sometimes I do it earlier, sometimes I have to do it later, depending on my personal schedule constraints, which pop up more often than I care to admit. That pinging is really annoying. All right. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. See you next week, and gosh, have a good one. Stay safe, stay alive. Thwack my legs into wood. That hurts. Yeah, just generally enjoy life as best you can. Have a good one, and goodbye.